have a show tonight. If anybody can make wealth management exciting, fun, and educated, my experts here are the only ones that can do it. Because I listen to wealth management shows all the time. Oh, God, can I say this, how boring they are? No, I better not. I'm not going to say that. But we have, I keep wanting to say a mother and daughter team. We have a mother and son team. It's the Simon Group USA, Phyllis and Daniel Simon. And I got to tell you, I can just sit back and let both of them go. But you know what? You're going to learn a lot tonight. They're not going to start talking about how much his stock is and that much. We let the other ones do. You're going to learn a lot tonight. And there's a lot of things happening with this new schmagag who is our president. My guests know what schmagag is. I don't know if my listeners do. Anyhow, let me welcome you, Phyllis and Daniel Simon, the Simon Group USA. Hi, guys.
Pleasure.
Happy New Year.
So let's give Steve all the stock tips that he wants and all the stock pricing. And he says we never give out because we don't give them out.
You don't?
Only during the day. Someone can call us during the day.
But this is not what your show is about.
No, our show tonight's about how to make latkes and brisket for the next holiday coming up.
For those people that celebrate, those of you that had a
Happy
Passover.
holidays, by the way.
I hope everybody had a happy Passover
and Easter and
all that jazz.
Today is Canadian Easter.
Now we're finished with the spring holidays, and we'll be getting on. The next one is Memorial Weekend, so let's worry about
Miss Phyllis,
what's going on.
When I was growing up, my mother made special Passover rolls.
Yes.
She called them, she said they're Pasadiki rolls.
She made Passover
rolls.
Okay.
I think she lied to him. Because I never heard that before in my life.
And when I went to a school.
They're made out of matzah meal, probably.
Yeah,
yes.
I went to school where there was no Jewish people there. And they go, what is that? I said, it's Pasadiki. What? What is?
Made your matzah meal like this. Pasadik means it was good, kosher for Passover.
Anyway, I had a tough time.
When you were a kid.
I'm sure you did.
A lot of kids do. A lot of kids did. Anyway,
tell us about, first of all, tell everybody about the Simon Group USA.
Well,
because what you do it's really incredible that most other wealth management companies do not do.
Yeah, every Thursday we have a flea market on the front lawn. What do we do at the Simon Group? We take care of everything from your wealth to your health, Steve.
That's right.
That's right.
Wealth to health.
Wealth to health. That's right.
I'm starting to see some commercials for Obamacare.
It's back. It's open until August now. They reopened it up because they want to make sure everybody gets the proper coverage.
Right.
At least get something. We have a pandemic still going on.
Right.
Depending if people want to believe it or not. But there is people, they're still going to run to see a doctor. Someone still has to pay for it. So what's happening is, in a nutshell, they're going to leave it till August. Don't be surprised when you do taxes next year if you don't have health insurance. You're going to get that little 1095A form. It's going to say, where's your health insurance? You say, oh, I didn't know I had to get it because the last president said there's no more tax law. Oh, but all the executive orders that were signed that nobody knows about,
right?
Because there's thousands of them a day that are redone, that looks like. That was one of them.
So how are people supposed to know?
Oh, you could watch your media, and maybe you should tell people, Steve.
Well, I saw it on TV.
Yeah, we saw it on TV because we're not talking about it.
No, well, mostly your regular network stations don't tell you. You would have to go on to cable network to really see what's going on in the real world, as far as policy, administration.
Well, no, I'm going to stop you right there for a second because no one's watching C-SPAN, okay? That's first and foremost. So you know exactly. It's like the Ocho.
Yeah, I saw it on the Rifleman.
I'm not telling them to watch C-SPAN.
No,
I'm just saying
listen, I don't care if you're watching CNN or Fox. No one watches those stations. The only people watch, depending if you're on the right or the left. You need to get proper information. This is the problem with people is I'm going to tell you. Facts are facts, okay? The news you put on, you got to understand something. The media is guiding people regardless of either side. That's what they do. You need pure fact. Make your own opinions. The people that go out there and they sit there and they go by drive-by media, they hear a headline, and they go in hysteria about things. Get your facts, because I want to tell you something about facts. There's either analyst and then there's journalist. Okay? And they don't tell you the full story. You read 3 paragraphs in, and the real truth.
There's no more journalist.
It's the 4th paragraph in, but you got this whole story, and then they switch it on you at the bottom.
You need to read the analyst. You don't need the journalist, because journalists are what we call, it's their opinion. It's all biased. And instead of being unbiased the way journalism is supposed to be. So at this point, let's go.
So we're here with Phyllis Simon of the Simon Group USA. This is one of the top wealth management companies in the state of Florida. And I got to tell you, I definitely endorse them because I've heard all kinds of wealth management companies, and they get into stocks and what this stock is going for. You can find that out on the internet. You don't need someone to talk about what your stocks are running. What we talk about on this show is what's going on now. What's going on with Biden, what you should start preparing yourself for. And we have someone with Phyllis Simon who's been in the business for a long time. She's seen everything. So this is a great show. And I want to welcome Miss Phyllis Simon.
Hello there.
I'm so glad you got kind of caught in traffic.
Oh, my God. A 20-minute ride became an hour and a half. Don't people realize COVID is still around?
How do you like that accent? Listen to her accent.
From Brooklyn.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody just asked me the other day, says, where are you from? What part of the island are you from? I said, Islanders don't talk like that.
Right. They don't.
Brooklynites do.
Don't you think it's sad what's happened in New York?
Well, listen, New York, it's a great city. It really is. It always had everything for everybody. Unfortunately, COVID has taken its toll on a lot of cities. And people are sick and tired of getting sick and tired.
Right.
So, everybody's more contained, so they lived in apartment buildings.
But all the restaurants have closed down. All the great stores that have gone out of business.
We had millions of people living there, so they were always going out and going to restaurants. My brother and sister-in-law are visiting New York right now. They went to some restaurants, but they look to eat outside, and there's not enough of them going outdoors, but they had a wonderful, time. They went to a great restaurant. But the streets are crowded, but not too. The streets are really crowded.
Open again?
The streets are not really crowded,
right?
But the restaurants are. That's what they told me. I don't know about Broadway. Where they were over on the east side,
okay.
So they weren't on the west side of town. So
snooty side.
Huh?
Snooty side.
Right. So what can I say?
Tell me something. What is... we keep hearing everything. It changes every day.
Yes.
First, it was Biden said that no one making under 400,000 would have their taxes increased. But everything they're at $6 trillion right now.
Well, they're going to be $30 trillion before you know it.
I heard that.
It's a sad situation. People don't understand how their wealth and finances are compromised on a daily basis by your government. Now, it's okay to pay taxes. Taxes are what gives us our police, our county, city, state government.
Right.
It's okay. The federal taxes that you pay, which help certain federal programs, it's okay to pay taxes. But to be taxed to the hilt is not okay. So if you want everything for free, then you're going to give the government half your money. That's the way you got to have it. Now, the people that want things for free don't contribute. If they're not working and they want it for free, people don't go back to work because they're still collecting unemployment.
Right.
They don't have to go back to work because the government's allowing them to keep collecting. Now, there are a lot of legitimate people. They get the stimulus check and they get unemployment and it helped them. Like I said, what's $2,400 going to do? Or even if a family
Really?
of four is going to get $4,800, it's going to last them for a month or two. If you're not back to work,
They're probably behind on their rent or their mortgage payment anyway.
absolutely. But if you're not back to work, I mean, you're not going to survive.
Right.
And it's landlords are losing their properties and all kinds of things are happening. And on top of this, we got a new administration that turns around and says, oh, well, we're going to only tax the rich. That's 1%.
It's not enough
the
rich people,
country-
is there? To pay for all the spending they're doing.
There are not enough rich people in this country to pay for everybody's expenses, to pay for everybody's things. Everybody wants something. Everybody wants that fancy car. Everybody tries to keep up with the Joneses, that old storyline which the young people don't understand what it is. Keeping up with the Joneses is spending money that you don't have because your neighbor has it and buying fancy cars, bought a fancy house. You bought the same fancy house. You didn't fix it up as nice. And you have a junky car, and you're not making as much money, and two you got to work, and over at the Joneses, only one has to work. So it's your
How's all this
finances.
stuff going to be paid for then?
Well, the next
Middle class?
the middle class will pay, and then we're going to borrow time, which was borrowed money, and that
Kick the
borrowed
can
money
down the road.
and the children and the grandchildren are going to get totally destroyed. So it's time that everybody says, okay, enough is enough. All right. Yes, he wants to build infrastructure. He wants to give 2-year colleges. So let's take a look at everything. Most of us grew up, the college was supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread.
Exactly.
Okay, if you were going for a career, you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, you were going to go into something that will help build your future
Right.
where you can make a lot of money. Okay, that's the whole idea of being able to get higher education, or if you were not in that area where you were able to get a higher education, but you were very good with your hands, to be a plumber, a drywall, construction,
Right.
Electrician. There's millions of jobs in that industry alone.
And they make good
And
money,
if you were
too.
good, they make a fortune, and they make cabinet makers and everybody. They made good money back in the day. So your nails were a little dirty when you got
Right.
home from work. You use a brush and clean it. That's it. But I knew guys when I was 18 and 20. Of course, I looked down at them because they weren't professional, which was stupid of me. But some of them became multimillionaires because they own these big building companies, and they build and they build and they build. And they learned from the School of Hard Knocks. They went to the vocational school, learned how to
Right.
do some things, how to be a mechanic. It just, people don't remember what America stood for. Was to get that job, was to make money, was to save money, was to make sure you had money put away to protect your family in case you couldn't work, in
Right.
case you died, in case. So all these different places you were able to go to help you save that money, and you had insurance companies that would give you money in case you got sick and you couldn't work, and there were insurance companies that paid you if your spouse or somebody died that you relied on their income, and you had insurance companies that helped you put away money into annuities to create an income when you got old. You had investment companies to help you invest money in the stock market, maybe be a little bit of a gambler. Those that weren't went with the insurance company to the more solid investment. So how does the insurance actually protect people? It protects them because they're there to pay the bills when you can't. When politics plays a part of your future, and they're going to turn around and say, okay, so we're going to pay for 2 years of education for you. Junior college. That's getting your AA degree. Because
Right.
most kids don't know what they're going to do until they get their AA degree.
Right.
All right. So if the junior colleges are going to get paid by the government, what happens to the 4-year universities that
Yeah,
usually
that's
get
right.
the money for the first 2 years?
They rely on new students.
Until that kid figures out, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this.
Right.
Those colleges, those 4-year colleges, are not going to make the money. They're going to get the children. They're going to get the kids from the wealthier families. They're going to get the children that the parent, that first of all, that they have the marks. They're going to get them, but they're not going to get the majority of the younger people that take out student loans, where the schools make money off of this. You know, the banks make money off of this.
Right.
Okay, so they're not going to get those. What's going to happen? Who's going to pay for this education? Oh, wait, we're going to do pre-K, so mommies can go to work to give the government more money. So this is getting, a little out of hand. It's nice for the government to help for a while because we're going through this horrible pandemic.
But you can't take that back. Once the government gives you these freebies, they can't take them back.
They don't take them back, but they get back at you.
Yeah.
They get back at you in a different way. So they get back at you through your taxes. They'll get back at you and say, well, we gave you all these benefits. So what we're going to do is, instead of everybody that earns over $400,000, we miscalculated a little bit. Excuse me. We miscalculated a little bit. We'll tell you what. If you're single and you make $225,000, your tax rate will be 34% instead of 30, or it'll be instead of 28. We'll put you at 34%. And if you make over $400,000 as a single person, we'll tax you at that 37%. Wait, it's not 37. It's going to be 39. The new tax rate, my dear, everybody. Okay, so let's talk about it. We're going to talk about tax rates and why it's going to be very important for everybody to start planning, especially now.
I want to say something about your business that people don't think about. My son opened up some mattress stores in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And he started opening up more and more, and I said, you got to slow down. You never know when there's going to be an emergency.
Right.
Dad, what kind of emergency is there going to be?
Everybody needs a mattress.
Everybody needs a mattress. And look what the pandemic, who would have counted on this pandemic?
Nobody
He's
did.
closing up 3 stores now because of it.
People can't
And he
buy
didn't
anything.
have planning done, which is what you do.
Well, we do business planning. We sit down with people, and we sit down with them and find out what their goals are. Sometimes businesses grow too fast. In other words, they push themselves to grow faster, which sometimes could be a very big mistake.
Right.
So what we do is we try to help guide them on planning their goals to go a certain percentage every year. Now, some people want to have it all within 2-3 years. Some people
But in the back of your mind, do you think about what if there's an emergency that we're
always
not counting on?
Well, that's one of the most important things about us doing planning is that we sit down and I will turn in. We both tell clients, you must have a certain amount of money sitting in the bank, cash. I don't care if it's only earning 0.5.
Right.
You must have cash available that you can go there tomorrow and pull out a wad of cash in case you need it. Emergency fund. Oh, I got this money market. A lot of people don't understand money market costs the money. Money market is not earning high interest, number one,
Right.
and it's at a different risk. If you go with a real money market that has a guaranteed interest rate and it is backed by the bank, but a lot of these people have money markets and investment firms and all that. Oh, my money's in the money market. I keep at least 20. Most of them keep 10, 15,000 in the money market. Very few, in an investment firm, leave more than that because most of their investments are either stock, bonds, mutual funds.
Right.
Some of them have tax-free bonds, and if the tax-free bond, they need to pull the money from that. They're calling back the bond too early, and then they can lose money. So when we do business planning, the most important thing is that we find out what the business is trying to achieve. Then we find out what kind of capital they have. And if they have enough capital to say, okay, how much would it cost you to cover your rent, your payroll, your overhead, your basic overhead, your fixed expenses, not paying you a check, but your employees and everything. How much would it cost you if you had a downturn for 6 to 8 months? And then we figure out.
Is that the number you use? 6
I
to 8
usually
months?
use 6 to 8 months, okay? depending on how fast they want to grow. Okay, if they want to grow within a 5-year period, that's a very
But how
good.
do you slow these people down?
Well, you have to. You have to explain to them that, listen, if you're going to use all your capital, then you don't have more capital to work with.
Right.
So an opportunity may come along where you're going to need some of that capital. And then you missed an opportunity. Now, some people say an opportunity lost is an opportunity gained, but that's not always true, because you can lose a good opportunity at an inflationary, low inflationary period, or you can gain opportunity during a high inflationary period, depending on the kind of business that you have. So what we try to do is to make sure that they have enough capital, not cash in the bank. That's exactly what capital means, because real estate cannot be sold immediately,
Right.
and it's not,
It can't be liquid right away.
it's not liquid. It's and some investments that people put money in, they tie up their money for 10, 15 years or 20 years. Oh, I bought this annuity. It's a 20-year. What? Why 20-year annuity? You're 60. Don't do that.
Right.
Okay, so things like that happen. But in business planning, it's very, very important that there's enough capital, so in case the business owner wants to have an opportunity, it can open another store.
How are things going to be different now with Biden?
Well, first of all, they're going to tax the ultra wealthy, but they're going to tax the corporations. Now, there's another thing that nobody gets, and I don't want to know, with all the accounting minds that they're supposed to have
Right.
among them. Remember, they're lawyers, so they're not accountants.
Okay.
All right. A very, very interesting thing comes along. Corporations have 401k plans. And 401k plans are usually called profit-sharing plans. And people that put their money in, the purpose of having a profit-sharing plan, especially for the hierarchy of a business, is that they are able to contribute also, but they have what's called the top-heavy people, so they can contribute a different way if they buy certain types of plans. And a lot of these profit-sharing plans are safe harbor. Safe harbor allows for the hierarchy to put away a lot of money. So what happens with the company when they get profit? You pay taxes on the profit. So the company says, hey, wait a minute. We're going to give the profit to you and you and you, all our employees.
Okay.
And we're going to have those profits, and our employees are going to get them. So we're going to pay less taxes, and sometimes it could be zero. You can't give money in a profit-sharing plan if there's zero profit. You understand that. If there's no profit, you can't put money in because it doesn't make sense. There's no profit. So how can it be a profit-sharing plan? So the IRS frowns very deeply upon this, even though they don't have enough people that Biden wants to hire a lot of people so he can audit everybody because he's not happy because the upper middle income is not getting audited enough. Upper middle income means anybody with $125,000 or more.
Is that what it is?
Yes. So what happens at this point? Meanwhile, most of the people that are cheating the government make under $80,000.
Listen, if the company gets taxed higher, they don't care because they pass it down to
The company, the whole idea is, listen, I paid no taxes last year. Why? Well, the federal government gave me some benefits to have some offshore investments. Okay. And the income from the offshore investments don't cost us anything.
Okay.
I got a great profit. We're going to give all our employees that match of 3%. Oh, this year we're going to change to 4% or 5%. And they match. So now their tax liability goes all the way down.
Okay.
And sometimes it can go to zero. When that happens, hey, wait a minute. Hey, all those people, those corporations didn't pay any taxes, and all these people are complaining when they don't stop and think. Your paycheck has that money in it. That's your retirement account. It shows you how much the company contributed to your account. And that's your retirement. So this is the reason why it was made. Because the government always knew they're going to need money in the future. So they created 401k plans and got rid of all the old corporate pension plans for one reason. They knew they're going to have a guaranteed income sometime in the future. So the taxation is actually passed to the employee. So the employee is always going to pay the taxes. The difference is a lot of them are very smart because they have smart people that they work with and say, don't take that much money out this year. But
How far are you figuring out when you sit down with a client?
what do you mean?
5 years, 10 years?
We ask the goals depending on the age of the client.
Well, I'm going to ask you the reason.
How old's your son? Let's use him as an
Okay,
example.
he's 33.
He's 33 years old, so I would go a 30-year period and say, okay, what do you go the next 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20? Where do you want to be in 30 years from now?
Social Security?
I told you about
around that
Social
long?
Security a long time ago. 2035, everybody's going to have a reduction in their money. So if you're still living, you're going to get less money. And in 2072 or something like that, the Social Security's not going to have any money in it. So unless they
we're
get
a long
more,
ways away then, right?
we don't have to worry. But the baby that's being born today
Right.
worries. So what we need to do is we need to sit down and reconfigure how the Social Security system should really work. Because if people put this money away over the past 40, 50 years they worked into the stock market, I'm going to tell you the truth, they would have had 5 times as much money than they're getting today.
Wow.
However, they would have pulled more money out over a shorter period of time
Okay.
and be broke by now, especially because they didn't expect to live for 30 years.
Right.
And Social Security never expected to pay out for those many years. So it's a problem. Now, today, back then, they only collected up to if you made $5,000 a year. That was it. That was the math. Today, it goes up to like $137,000 that they still take that 6% from you. And then it goes, the Medicare tax of 1.5 keeps going, 1.6, I'm sorry, keeps going to no matter how much money you make $1 million, you're paying 1.6% to the government for your Medicare. And then they have the nerve to take away all the benefits and still make you pay for Medicare and make you pay even more because you have a higher pension income.
We're going to go to break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about capital gains. Because I don't know if everybody understands what's going on with capital gains. We're here with Phyllis Simon of the Simon Group USA. Give everybody your phone number.
The Simon Group USA, the telephone number is 954-599-1950 for all your investment insurance needs, along with good tax planning,
Right.
good planning for your future. It doesn't matter how old you are, from 6 to 600, and nobody lives that long, so we're here
We're
to
going to
help
break.
you.
We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. At the Simon Group, their goal is to actively help families, individuals, and business owners build their financial freedom. They have the skills, knowledge, and experience required to help meet the client's established goals. They understand their clients want a comfortable retirement, but that means different things to different people. And there are other goals that they can emerge along the way, from planning for a child's education to planning for a managing income in retirement. That's why the Simon Group offers a range of financial strategies and solutions to help in every step of the way. They work with you to gain confidence and stay flexible and prepared for your financial future. The Simon Group serves their clients in estate and investment solutions, insurance protection, income, stocks and bonds, retirement investments, and insurance. Contact the Simon Group for a free financial planning appointment today at 954-599-1950. That's 954-599-1950.
You are listening to the Ask the Experts show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
More taxes.
And we are back. This is the Ask the Expert show. We're with you every Monday and Thursday night from 6 to 7 with some of South Florida's greatest probably the best experts in financial. Of course, 1470 is a financial station, 1470 AM, 96.9 FM, and 95.3 FM. And we have the Simon Group with us tonight. First Monday night of the month, Simon Group USA. And she's by herself tonight, no son.
Yeah.
Phyllis Simon.
Yeah, he's not feeling too well today.
What's
so-
he have, another shoulder surgery? Or?
No, he caught a very bad head cold, and is just not really feeling that great. So
Daniel, you didn't ask Mom to make you some matzo ball soup?
the chicken soup he likes,
The
but he knows
chicken
how to make it himself. He's
Oh.
very good at that.
You taught him.
Yeah, of course. He's a very good chef. That's what I got to say.
He's
So,
very smart, too. He knows his
he's very,
business.
he
You
knows
taught
his
him
business.
well.
He's smart. He's young. He's innovative. He knows exactly what's going to happen. Even though he says he lost his crystal ball when he was about 6 or 7 years old.
Right.
That kid.
He's got vision. He does.
He has phenomenal vision. But what he also notices, he watches what's really happening in the market. He also watches what's happening in politics. And both of those things correlate with each other.
Right.
And people don't understand that. Now, I'm going to talk about capital gains for
Good,
a minute.
because a lot of people don't understand about capital gains, and they're talking about raising capital gains.
Yes, they are going to raise. It's definite. Capital
Okay.
gains are definitely
What are capital
going up.
gains at now?
I believe they were at a very low point, 18, 17, 18,
And they're
then
gonna go to
28.
39%.
They're going to go to 39%. And for the very mega wealthy, maybe 43. That's what they're looking at. Now, there's another thing that's more important, okay, than the capital gains.
But Phyllis, that doesn't pay for all the spending, though. How's that going to pay
It's not
for
going
it?
to pay for all the spending. That's the problem. But here's what's really going to hurt people. They want to take away the step up in the cost basis, meaning your beneficiaries inherit your house. You decide to leave your home, and you figure the house you bought for $150,000 and now it's worth $500,000. There's a $350,000 capital gain. And that's what they want to tax.
Wow.
And that, they're not going to allow for a cost and basis. Meaning, I paid $150,000. They want to tax the whole $500,000 because they're inheriting it. Instead of saying, oh, well, $350,000 and my parents put in $250,000 to remodel it. They don't want to know about that. And that, he might have a little tug with Congress over that. I don't know. But in my opinion, he put that through. Every plan that every parent planned goes right down the tubes.
Right.
And everybody's estate planning, watch out for this guy and his buddies because they're looking to move from that $11 million all the way down. So anybody that's got some sizable wealth. Now, let's talk about sizable wealth. What do you think is
What is
sizable?
sizable wealth?
Sizable wealth can be $500,000 to some
Okay.
people. A sizable wealth can be $1 million, $2 million, $5 million. It depends on
What is it
number
to the
one.
government?
The size, anything over 500, or actually over 400,000.
Okay.
If they're going to tax your home that you want to leave to your kid on a capital gain, it's any amount of money.
Right.
Okay, so we might as well be living in a communist or a socialist country if they want to take everything away from you that you've worked hard for. See, what bothers me is, and I get nuts over this, and my kids tell me, you got to calm down, Ma. I said, hey, listen, if I retired, I would start a radio show just being protective of seniors and discuss how they're ruining this country, how people are ruining this country. My generation, baby boomers, all saved their money and got good jobs and put money away for the future because they learned from their parents that went through the Depression. And they never wanted to be broke and poor and be without housing. So they saved their money. They educated their children to amount to something, of which half of them amounted to nothing. And half of them live off their parents. My generation,
Living at home, you mean?
My generation that grew up from grandparents and parents that grew up in the Depression amounted to something. Okay, the majority of us
Yes.
did. all right, to that who has the money. And the government doesn't like that the old people have the money, so they're trying to figure a way to get it. So we know they're going to pass it to the kids. Let's get them right then and there.
Right.
So they changed the IRA for the beneficiary to the IRA to a 10-year stretch instead of they could stretch it for the rest of their life and go on to a third generation. They're trying to take away the step-up in basis, so now everybody's going to pay a tax on whatever they inherit. You might as well take all your money, owe a tremendous mortgage, so your kids don't inherit a house with equity, and take that cash and put it in a box and make sure the kids know where to find it so you got that money. I'm serious.
So they're going to tax people on their inheritance?
On their inheritance.
Wow.
Now, that only happens if you had more than 11 million, 11 and a half, whatever it is now. That was only taxed as an estate tax.
That's the way it is
That's
now.
still there. But they also want to do a death tax to stop the step up in basis. Now, I have told this to a lot of my clients that have a lot of money. Your health is good. Why don't you pick up $1 million life insurance policy that's going to last till you die?
Right.
I don't care how much it could. Take the distributions from that IRA that you got $2.5 million in. Put some of it into that life insurance policy and take some of it and go out and have a good time and do it every year. What you're doing is you're shifting money from your left pocket to your right pocket or your right pocket to the left pocket, depending on what hand you use to write a check. Okay? So all you're doing is moving your money around, but into a safer area. How many times can you tell people what you need to do? That's
Right.
why you need to call me. The Simon Group, 954-599-1950, because you're not going to hear this from not everybody does planning the way we do it. Not everybody sits down. Yes, they want you to invest in your portfolio and they want you to do this. We do it all. Now, another thing is if you look at any printout, if you look at any internet site, and it tells you the federal government, and the last words say, and I'm going to go over this, is what you need to do. And the last word says, make sure you see a fiduciary financial advisor. Now, it's not to say anything bad about insurance agents. They're all great. All of them are great. I became an investment advisor over 30 years ago. I felt I needed that title to be able to give the advice I want to give. But they tell you, all right, they want you to have a fiduciary financial advisor because that person is now out for their best interest. They're out for your best interest.
Right.
And that is the most important thing. And then the SEC has very strict rules. Last June, they put them into force. And any advisor that's listening to me now knows it's true. You can't fool around with this stuff. Otherwise, you're going to be out on your backside. You're going to lose your career. So you got to do what's right for your client. Those that are regular insurance agents that can sell things can only say they cannot say they're a financial advisor.
Wow.
They
I
can't.
didn't know that.
No, yeah. But they do. All right, there are a lot of people that try to cheat.
Right.
All right, and then they go out and they become a certified senior advisor, and they become a this and a that, and that, which means absolutely nothing. Okay? They may have gone to some classes, learned about it, but to really sit down and do the proper job for your client, you really have to sit down with them and get as much information out of them. And it's true, when somebody meets you for the first time and they never met you before, they usually hold back a lot of stuff because they don't like to tell you everything.
Well, I don't understand that. It seems like you need to know.
Because it depends. Many times the wife and the husband don't relay everything to each other.
Yes, that's right.
It's a secret. The husband may have a sidekick.
Right.
The wife may have a sidekick, and I call them sidekicks. And you never
Right.
know. I heard something today about Bill Gates. look it up on
Did you
Google.
see that? He's getting a divorce.
Yeah, MSNBC, and he's getting divorced. And why? Because he was involved with somebody. Oh, no, he wasn't involved with him. He wasn't, but they set up a trust and everything. Well, Bill Gates is going to lose half his money, but I don't care about Bill Gates because he's got millions and billions and billions
Right.
of dollars. So let Melissa, whatever her name is, have that money because you know what? She stood by him for that nerd for all
Right.
those years. And let me tell you something. He did a nice job up until he was very involved with too many scientific things, which was made him think he was holier than thou. And let me tell you something. People that get to that level don't remember their roots and where they came from. And everybody should always remember where they came from.
Yeah, he bought a lot of farms. He wants to control the food.
He wants to control the chickens.
Yeah.
He wants to control. He wants to control. That's what these people do. They want to control. And the American people are like they're the little chickens that are going into the pen because they don't listen. They're not innovative enough to stop and think. Well, why is this? All right, and you don't have to be suspicious of everything. But you say, hey, our economy is very low at this point. Interest rates are low at this point. Stock market's booming at this point. I got a job with the
Why
company.
is the stock market booming?
Because they're buying and selling because they want to. I sat with the guy. He told me, I said, "Do you have any experience in stocks, bonds, mutual?" A little. I said, "What's a little?" So he said, "Oh, I did the Robin Hood thing." I said, "You did?" I was so surprised. I said, "Oh, that's great. And how much money did you make?"
Right.
$358. I said, "Really?"
$358?
That's it. Because that's what the majority of them made. A few people made a lot of money. But
What
not
was
every
the risk, though?
Well, to the guy, whatever he put in, and he only had a little bit of money, but he was going to take a chance. That's the kind of guy that needs to consistently put money away.
Right.
Now, there's nothing wrong with what he did, and I commend him for trying, all right? But he didn't feel he had enough money. Like most people say, I don't have enough money to make an investment. If you got $5,000 sitting and making nothing.
I want people to hear that again. So if you have $5,000.
If you have $5,000 sitting and making nothing and it's sitting in the bank, and you can just say, I'm going to put this away and forget I have it, and invest in a brokerage account, which we can do for you, and get you a couple of different mutual funds, and as you see fit, every 3 months, if you want, put a couple of $100 in it, and leave it, and let it grow. You can do it. If it's an IRA, you can do it on $100 a month. It is not so terrible.
Are you regulated by the state?
We're
Or by the
regulated,
feds?
we're regulated by everybody. Let me tell you something.
People can trust when you
Well,
give
we're
them...
with the regular brokerage firm, MML.
It's
We are with the regular brokerage firm. I should have never said that.
MPL,
But we're with
MPL.
Right. So we're with the legal brokerage firm. People get all their information that they're supposed to get. We do the best we can do for them, and they get paperwork from them. It's not a Bernie Madoff BS thing.
Right.
It's not the Simon Group's own letterhead on your statement. It just says that we're the agent of it, but we're
Right.
not the
Gotcha.
we're not the company that's holding your money. And you're with very well-known companies that you know, and you can pick up a phone and make a
And you're
phone call.
independent, too.
Well, we're independent to a degree. We're
Okay.
not. We work with a very major insurance company and very major brokerage firm, and they're terrific because they're honest and they have what's called consumer responsibility. They don't they don't allow us to offer certain things that are not considered consumer responsible.
Yes, we
like
found that.
gambling, prostitution, smoking, tobacco, firearms. They don't like that, and I can understand that but there are people that will invest in those things because
Right.
it keeps pace with inflation for them, and they can balance their portfolio. So I just simply tell them they can go elsewhere for that. But with me, give me the most, so I can take care of this part. And, of course, a lot of people want the other part.
Do you study the stock market at all?
No, I don't study the stock market because if I did, then I would be honest enough to tell you that it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
I mean,
So-
I keep hearing it's going to crash.
But no, you see, who's telling you it's going to crash? Crazy Larry? I mean, who's telling you it's going to
The guy
crash?
from New York.
Yeah, who's going to tell you it's going to crash? I mean, Danny watches the market. We look at Amazon. We use
Okay.
Amazon. Amazon had a phenomenal year.
Yes.
Well, why did Amazon have a phenomenal year, ladies and gentlemen? Did everybody order from Amazon and have everything shipped to their house? And I
Right.
can tell you how many boxes that the trash companies
People
have.
are stuck at home and they.
There you go.
Right.
Amazon is the first thing they think of to order something.
Right.
How about Publix Supermarket? Now, Publix is a private company. They made a freaking fortune this year
I'm sure they did.
because of home delivery. Costco, another company, made a fortune. Now, that's a public company, made a fortune this year. The numbers show it. Even Sam's Club carried Walmart. Walmart made money, but Sam's Club carried because they did delivery, they did pickups and takeouts. So you have to stop and think, why did these numbers go all the way up?
Right.
I don't know. Well, I could tell you why.
Yes.
So, I mean, we have to just use
So
common
you're
sense.
basically saying a handful of companies
Right.
did really well.
Right.
Market went up.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that's the place
Well,
to put your money.
Today they were talking about Apple suing everybody because they don't want to pay fees or whatever, and Apple
Right.
is suing everybody. Why? She doesn't want to share. See, that's the problem with most of these people. They don't like to share. And if another company comes along and gets a piece of the action, they don't like that. Well, why can't everybody get a little piece of the action? So maybe Apple's making more money than the others, but let them get something. After all,
Remember when
they're
Bell
contributing.
phones, they-
They're contributing into that factor. So why not? They use their phones and everything else.
Bell phones, remember when they split up? They had to split up.
Oh, they made Bell split up, which is
Yeah.
the biggest mistake they ever made. AT&T stock was at the all-time high when they made them split up, and none of those all the Bell
The beta
services
Bells.
are all bad. Everything, even their telephones are no good anymore. They used to make their own phones in the United States. With Western Electric was a division of theirs. I remember those
It
days.
was
They had a
that.
good
There's
phone.
no more Bell South or
There's-
Southwestern
well,
Bell.
AT&T owns it. Took
Yeah.
back. AT&T took back a lot of companies. They bought it out, but it's different now. Too much competition. Okay, I want to tell you about another little thing that's happening. If the government, if the corporations don't, if the corporations don't have any taxes to pay, they're going to find a way for them to have a minimum of 15% corporate tax. If they decide to give everything out there, they go back and examine their books and figure out, and they'll say, all right, your minimum corporate tax is going to be 15%. That's it.
Wow.
They're going to charge them more to try to prevent them from going out to overseas. Okay? So that's the next one. All right, how about
We got to talk about life insurance
we are
and
right now.
disability insurance.
But this is very interesting. The step up in basis on death and carried interest loopholes will be eliminated.
Now, what
which
is
I
step
went over
up?
that. The step up of and the caps will be limited for tax deferral on exchanges of real estate. You know how people buy a house and invest the money into a new thing.
Right.
They're not
You
going
mean
to let
like
this.
flip
Going to have
it
a
or
limit.
something?
Yeah. Not only if you're investing in real estate and buying or selling your own home, if you sell it and you want to move elsewhere, they're going to find a way to tax you over a certain amount. It used to be they gave you an exemption. They're looking for more money out of that. And okay, so now there's one other thing I wanted to tell you. They keep talking it's a tax increase for the wealthy. It's for everybody, whether you want to believe me or not. The bottom line is you're going to find out the hard way.
Is
Don't
a person
believe
who
me.
makes $80,000 a year going to be taxed?
They'll pay their regular taxes that they pay now, but they're going to take away the child credits because all those things come up. Now, here's the best part. They're going to tax the very wealthy. However, we're going to give you a credit the child tax credit. Wait a minute. Most of these very wealthy people don't have kids that are home under 25 anymore.
That's
Oh,
right.
we're going to go to age 25. Listen, most of these very wealthy people that are making a lot over $400,000 have worked for 30 years to get to that level. And now you want to take it away from them. And that's not fair.
Where's the incentive going to be to make money for these companies?
Hello.
Wow.
Hello.
Yeah.
So if I got to give away 43% of my money, if I was lucky enough to make $1 million a year, and give away 43%, that means I'm going to be giving Social Security money too. On top of that, I'll be paying 50% in taxes.
Oh, easy.
That's not fair.
Easy.
That's not fair. That's very easy. So now, how does life insurance, disability insurance play in all this? At the very beginning, I mentioned about the life insurance and disability. I mentioned about the replacement of money. And people don't seem to understand the replacement of money is so important because you can't live off the government. The government will say, okay, we'll give you money. You want money, we'll give you Social Security and your house, But nobody wants to be poor. Right. Nobody wants to be told you can't buy this, you can't do this. Nobody wants to keep going to food bank. Nobody wants that. There are more people in their 60s and 70s and 80s still working because they didn't plan properly for their retirement, or there were those that entrusted their money into people that did them wrong. Or
Cousins.
the worst.
Cousins,
the worst that
relatives.
they have. There's something worse than all that. They saved the money. They did everything right. But their kids were drug abusers. Their kids had no money. The kids never mounted any. The kids had children. The kids were screwed up. And the kids took their money because they were paying for their kids and their children's children. And that, to me, there's a word we use called tough love. If your children don't know how to, even if they were a professional and they lost their job, they can go take a job as a waitress, a waiter, McDonald's, doesn't matter. Don't laugh at it because they still make money and they still have some pride and they still got to show that they know how to make money and that they can earn money, because with every closed door comes an open one.
Exactly.
And a new opportunity, and I believe in that. And, I tell it like it is. Listen, I've been in this business for 34 years. And a lot of people don't like me. But a lot of people...
Whoa, wait. What do you mean a lot of people
Because I tell it like it is.
That's what they... Okay. That's what they should... You're supposed to do.
Right. Because I tell them like it is. And when I tell them like it is, it makes it easier for them. They don't like to hear it.
Yes.
They don't like to hear it. They don't like to hear about anything bad. They want to hear that they're going to have money and they're not going to run out of it.
Right.
So I am going to try to do that for them in the best way I know. If I know how to help them curtail their ridiculous spending that some of them do, but I do help them. And I have a lot of very, very, very satisfied clients.
I know you do.
All right. The life insurance will pay if one of their spouses, if a spouse dies, give them enough money. Here's another thing. Like I said before, you can take your distributions from your IRA, buy the life insurance policy, and you'll be fine. Okay?
Give everybody your phone number.
The Simon Group USA, my phone number is 954-599-1950. Give us a call, free consultation. I won't charge you. In fact, I might end up throwing you out of my office.
You won't do that. And I got to tell everybody, this is going to surprise you too. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on my show,
Yeah.
Alan Dershkowitz.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
oh,
Alan
wow.
Dershkowitz is going to be on my show.
Oh, you're going to
tomorrow
butt
morning
head to head
at
with
10
him.
o'clock.
He's
Anyhow,
the
everybody,
ultimate.
thank you for tuning in for another Ask the Experts. Phyllis Simon, the Simon Group USA, and we'll be back again with you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve-O.
The opinions expressed on the